Does it make sense that a person can inherit something he already owns?
So you're going to have to come again.
Can you inherit what you own? So the translation given is inheritor, is supreme heir. But ladies and gentlemen, how can you inherit nothing? Because one, who does he inherit from? Two, how can he inherit what he owns?
Because he's almost all powerful and he made everything.
Okay, he made everything, but that doesn't mean that he can inherit what he owns.
So taking it back, that's what it means.
Oh, it's taking it back.
Yes, taking it back.
It's not taking it back.
Let's recap.
It's not inheritance.
Let me finish. Let me finish. So Neritu Abu Ja'far.
He doesn't let me finish.
Well, I'm gonna let me finish.
He doesn't let me finish.
And so there are rational contradictions in the Qur'an about what the Qur'an says about Allah. And the Qur'an says, if I, not you Muslims, it says if I can find a contradiction in the Qur'an, then it's not from Allah.
In which we can learn from.
Surely that's but that doesn't mean that I need to do that.
Oh, okay, so you
I
can...
feel like the learned scholars that you're talking about, maybe you should dialogue with them with the same intention of exchanging knowledge.
So I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question about Islam, about Allah.
To be honest, see, I'll tell you.
I just want to have an open dialogue with you. You don't want to interact.
I don't want to interact in
there
the
we go.
academic discussion with you.
So you just sermonized me for 5 minutes
I feel
about
I'm
doing
not the right
something
person.
that you can't do.
I feel like I'm not the right person to answer your question.
You know what? Can I give you
because-
something back? Can I have a conversation with you? Right?
I'm
Do
clearly
you want
saying
to have a
no.
conversation?
I'm clearly saying no.
So you just want to have a monologue to me then?
I just wanted to come here.
So-
This is my first day over here.
Bro, here, let me help you.
Oh my God.
Here, brother, here.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that.
There you go.
Thanks a lot.
Do you want to have a conversation with me? I can ask you a question.
Yeah, I'll have a conversation with you.
I would answer you, but I don't want to point you out in the right.
It's very easy.
Yeah, I just don't want
So,
to answer anything.
Let me just wrap up with let me just respond to this guy. Like the brother's come to me and he's questioned my intentions around talking to Muslims in the park, suggesting to me that what I should do is have an open dialogue in which we learn, and that should be my intention in coming here. But yet he's just demonstrated that that's not what he's about. Because when I said, how about we have an open dialogue, he said, I'm not here to have an open dialogue. So he just came here to give me a sermon for 5 minutes. 1 second, let me finish. He's just come here to give me a sermon for 5 minutes and then not willing to put into practice the very thing that he told me. Furthermore, the sermon that he's just given to me, he was, before the camera arrived, said quite openly that he was unwilling to say to the Muslim speakers in the park. And this is the kind of double standards that we see week in, week out from Muslims, both guests and... Yeah, well, let me finish. Right? So that we see this kind of double standard all the time. Muslims expect of Christians something that they are not willing to do themselves. And I say to you that you don't need to live by Muslim double standards.
Okay, cool.
Now I'm inviting you to the dialogue he refused.
Okay, go on.
And so my question to you, as a Muslim, is...
I'm not religious, by the way, but...
Fair enough, but you're willing to have a dialogue. I'm assuming that you're a Muslim. Is that a fair comment?
Right, it is.
Non-practicing?
I'm practicing.
Okay, you are practicing.
Here and there, yeah.
Here and there. Fair enough. Everyone's at different points in the spiritual journey. So, as a Muslim, do you believe that Allah owns all things?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything he doesn't own?
I would say no.
No. He owns everything.
I would say
Because he created everything, right?
Right.
Right. If Allah owns everything, shall we take a couple of steps? Let's take a couple of steps this way.
A bit too loud.
Plus, we don't want that pigeon to go for strike 2. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you. Right. So, if Allah owns everything, does it make sense that a person can inherit something he already owns?
So you're gonna have to come again.
Can you inherit what you own?
I can't answer that question.
Why can't you answer that
I just
question?
don't know.
Well, do you know what inheritance means?
Yeah.
What does inheritance mean?
Inheritance means when someone's owed something.
Yep.
And it's passed down to you.
And it's passed down to you, right? So we do know what inheritance means. So now let's answer the question logically. Can you inherit something you already own?
Think about it. Condemning a newborn before your mum and dad make love is stupid.
I would say no.
It's
No.
about a
Do we all agree that that's a logical presupposition? If you own it, you can't inherit it. Right. So no.
You could still have the status of
No, we're talking about if you already own it, can you inherit it?
But if you own it, you could say
No.
I inherited it.
Wait, the condition of the question is that you already own it. So we're not talking about something you've inherited. We're talking about something that you own.
Yeah, but you can own something that you inherited.
No, we're not talking about something you've inherited. We're talking about something that you own.
It can be both owned and
Would you like to
inherited at
join
the
this
same
conversation?
time. No, but I'm saying it can be both
Okay,
owned and
okay,
inherited at the same
right.
time.
So no, let me continue the logic.
It can be
No,
owned and
bro,
inherited
come
at
and
the
join
same
the
time. It can
conversation.
have the status of owned and inherited.
Bro, join the conversation. I'm inviting you to join. Right. So let me just reply to what he said, because I want to point out to you that he's inviting in a qualification to the conversation that I am not allowing. The question is not about whether you own something you inherit. Of course, if you inherit something, you own it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, can you inherit something you already own?
After you own it.
No,
inherit it.
that's not what we're talking about. You're trying to change the topic. So, Allah owns everything. Right. And we all...
I'm not a leader,
That's fine.
nor am I very educated.
Okay.
But to be a Muslim, you don't have to.
That's
Understand?
brilliant. Right.
So
So allow me to reply. So I agree. This is very logical, basic logic. You don't need to be a genius to figure that out. If I own this bag and I never inherited it, I bought it, so I own it. That means I can't inherit it.
What's your point anyway?
Right. Explain to me why Allah is called the inheritor of all things.
Because I believe personally He's almighty.
Yep.
He owns everything in this world.
He owns everything.
He controls everything.
He controls everything.
And that's just what it is.
Right.
I don't have to prove it to you.
Okay, let me
Because it's faith.
I get what you're saying. Listen to his reply, because the reply contains a contradiction within it.
Okay.
Allah is said by Muslims to own everything.
To own everything.
Yes,
No,
but
I said Allah owns everything.
that's what I just said.
He controls everything.
I literally just said that.
Okay, go on. But does that mean I own everything?
No, I never said that.
Okay, great.
You pay attention to what I'm saying.
carry on.
So Muslims say that Allah owns everything. If Allah owns everything, he can't inherit what he owns. Because one, who does he inherit from? Two, how can he inherit what he owns?
Because He's all merciful, all powerful, and He made everything.
Okay, he made everything, but that doesn't mean that he can inherit what he owns. There's a logical contradiction here.
You're talking on like temporal terms, because when you say inherit, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about a time scale, because you said you own it, you're saying then can you inherit it. But when we're talking about God, we're talking about an entity that transcends time.
Yes.
Right? So it's not something, so there might be something that say, let's say I haven't produced it, I'm going to produce it, I'm going to make a bag, right?
Yeah.
And then you'd say in those terms that God inherits that bag, because that bag wasn't in existence before. God owns all things, but he owns all things that are past, present and future. So he transcends your concept that you're limited to, which is time, of when I inherit things.
Okay.
Let me say
Wait. No. Let me reply to what he said. No, let me reply to this. Let me reply to him. Stop being rude. He's made a point. Let me reply to him. Let me reply to him. No, let me reply to him. Let me reply to him. Now, guys, I want to point out why I'm doing this. Like, Muslims come to this park all the time attacking the Christian faith. I'm a Christian, and therefore, since Muslims are coming to attack Christianity all the time, it is only fair. Wait, right, so are we just going to have a shouting match? Why are you interrupting? Why are you interrupting? Why are you interrupting? You said you wanted to have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Okay, I'm sorry guys, but this ultimately happens a lot. You try to have a conversation and it breaks down. And then it just descends into a shouting match. I'm trying to avoid that. Make your own judgment who's destroying the conversation. So, allow me to finish.
I've allowed you.
No, you haven't. You've been interrupting consistently, and you're still interrupting now.
Have a compliment.
Are you done? Are we done?
I'm here.
All right, so allow me to finish. So why is it important that we Christians stand up for ourselves? Muslims are coming to this corner week in, week out to attack the Christian faith.
Christians.
It is therefore right for Christians not only to defend their faith, but to make criticisms of Islam. But those criticisms must be fair. So, if the Qur'an says statements about God that are mutually contradictory, it's right for me to point them out.
Why do you care?
Now let me finish. Stop interrupting, because you'll be complaining when I interrupt. No, I'm going to finish replying to him. I'm going to reply to him, then you speak. Try to learn some manners. Try to learn some manners. So, the brother said that my argument is flawed because Allah stands out of time. But the question of time has nothing to do with ownership. The moment Allah creates something, He owns it. There's no time at which He doesn't own it. And if He doesn't own it, then it is rationally contradictory for Muslims to say that He inherits it. Because who is He inheriting from? Yeah, I mean, if I create this bag, is it rational to say that I have inherited the bag? No. I am the creator of the bag. I am the owner of the bag. But it is rationally contradictory to say that I inherit the bag. And so there are rational contradictions in the Qur'an about what the Qur'an says about Allah. And the Qur'an says, if I, not you Muslims, it says if I can find a contradiction in the Qur'an, then it's not from Allah. How would you like to reply?
And that's your opinion. Whatever it is. I want to ask you a question, if that's all right.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, would you like to come back on that?
Let me just do this quickly.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
You'll ask one question and then we'll come back to the topic. Go on.
Why do you paint all Muslims with the same brush?
Okay. So the question is, why do I paint all Muslims with the same brush? Anyone who has watched Soco films, go and have a look at it, will realize that I make distinctions amongst Muslims all the time. It is a simple false accusation, as this brother tried to ask when he said, are you a racist, to play that race card. If you have to attack the man in the argument, it means that you've lost the argument. Okay, you've asked your question. Would you like to reply to what I said?
If you created the bag, then does that mean you're God now? Because you created something.
Okay.
Like in terms of in your Christian opinion, if you created that bag, are you now the creator, or is God still the creator and that bag still belongs unto Him? Like that bag didn't exist except through His virtue.
Okay. So and I want to point out, guys, that it would seem that no Muslim here has any response to my argument.
No,
So you think?
No Muslim yet has come up with a response to my argument. But to answer his question directly, allow me to answer the question directly, and I want you to notice how I'm going to answer their questions directly and see if they will also answer my questions directly. So, if I create a bag, am I a creator? Human beings can't create diddly squat. We can only transform that which God has created. This is not created, it is transformed matter. The matter is created. We do not share the capacity to create. It's something that belongs only to God. But now let me come back to you with a question. What is an inheritor? What is an inheritor?
An inheritor is someone that takes ownership of something.
Takes ownership of something from?
Just be a Muslim.
From?
I don't know.
Right. Does the word inheritor mean you take ownership from someone else?
Not necessarily.
Can you give me an example of how you inherit something not from someone else?
I don't know where the passion comes from.
Go on.
Like if the world was like empty, right, and you like picked up something, like there was a rock on the floor, you could say like I've inherited.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, he's used the example that if you walk past a rock on a beach and you pick up the beach, you can claim you sorry, my apologies. Yeah, not the beach. And you pick up the rock. That this means you've inherited the rock.
It doesn't mean you have inherited it, but you can claim
If you
it.
create an
Yeah,
animal,
no. Let me reply to what he says. Let me reply to what he says, and then you come in. I'll let you come in. Just let me reply to what he said first. Let's have a conversation, guys. It's always better when people have a conversation, right? So the point is, when this kind of analogy is completely flawed, if I go on a beach and pick up a rock, I claim possession of the rock. I haven't inherited the rock. Inheritance means you are taking possession of someone else's possessions.
Yeah, but it could.
And this is the irrational. One second. And this is the irrational contradiction within the Qur'an that says that Allah is Al-Maliki, the owner of everything, and Al-Warith, the inheritor of everything. That's a rational contradiction. How would you reply?
Do you think, hypothetically, if you could create an animal,
Yes.
I know that we can't create matter, if you
Okay,
could create
thought
an
experiment.
animal, do you own it because you created it?
Right. So, I believe that the Creator owns that which He creates. So if He creates something, if He creates something, He owns it. But by definition, rationally speaking, if He owns it, He cannot inherit.
I understand, you pointed this out already, but I'm asking you a different
So
question.
respond to that argument.
I hear, I'm not a Muslim, I'm just trying to understand something else. Why, if you did create something, hypothetically, from scratch, why are you the owner of it? Because you created it.
Okay, I don't want to get too much off the topic. This is a question for Muslims, but I will address your point, sir, because I want to be polite. I believe if God creates something, he's just said he's not a Muslim, just be clear. If God creates something, because He has created it, He is the owner. He is the owner. Because that which you create, you own. If I transform the material and make a bag, I created it, in quote marks, so therefore it's mine. No one has. Exactly, if you steal it, I still own it, you're a thief.
But what if you created it for someone else?
Would you be allowed to torture it?
Sorry, you're getting us off the topic, go on.
Created it for someone else.
Sorry?
What if you created it for someone else?
What happens if you create it from someone else?
No, but what if you created it for somebody else?
Right. So,
Then do you own it at any point?
this is a great question. This is a great question. Okay? So the question is, what if you create it for someone else? Right. Well, if you create it for someone else, then that means, yes, you're the creator. It's yours to do with what you want. And you give up. Let me finish my let me reply to your question, bro. Don't get so excited. If I create it for someone else and I give it to someone else, I'm no longer the owner. So now let me ask you the question. Does Allah own everything? Yes.
No, but my question, I don't think you understood my question. Are you ever the owner of it? If let's say that bag, you make it for somebody else.
Yeah.
Are you at any stage the owner of that bag?
At the beginning, yes. But when you give it to someone else, you're no longer the owner.
When were you the owner of it?
At the moment of creation. At the moment you created it.
Okay, but you just said that humans can't create anything.
Yeah, humans can't.
But then you just said you created the bag.
That's just common use of the language word created.
That's what my point is then. Because when we say create, you said, but humans can't create anything.
That's true.
But humans can, in sense of, yes, everything is energy or matter transferred from one form to another. Okay, I understand that. But we're talking in terms of that bag in that form.
And even if God created the
Right.
Let's step this way.
So I'm saying that the bag in that form is, yes, it wasn't, the matter inside of it wasn't created because it already existed.
Yeah.
But in the form that it's in, it was created, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, when I say that the human created it, that's the term that I'm speaking in. I'm not talking in terms of the human created the matter.
Okay.
But the human created the product.
Okay, so let me reply, because I think, bro, you're really missing my point. What I'm saying to you is this. Let me just recapitulate.
I get your point, but
No. Let me recapitulate my point, because your statement has no relation to my criticism.
It does.
So let me recapitulate my point. So in Islam, the Quran states, if this is from any other than Allah, if I find contradictions within it, if people find contradictions within it, it's not from God. And the Qur'an describes the Muslim God, but it describes the Muslim God in contradictory terms. It says that the Muslim God is al-Maliki. He is the owner, possessor of everything. But it also describes that same God as al-Warith, the inheritor of everything. And as we established at the beginning of this conversation, it is irrational, illogical, and contradictory to state that you inherit what you already possess. You can't inherit what you already possess.
But this is my point now,
Go on.
which why it does relate to
Go on.
Because God created and owns everything.
Yes.
I.e. that matter.
Yeah.
But we're talking about, and this is where the other part of what creation means,
Yeah.
is creating the product in its form.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say those are two different things. So he's a creator and owner of everything that exists, not the matter.
Right.
But in terms of then how that matter is then being produced into something, a bag or a person, whatever,
Yeah.
right? That is also a creation, but it hasn't been. It's not created. It's not created by that human, but it's created in its form.
Okay. What's your name, bro? Ismail. Ismail. Firstly, I want to thank you for having a nice conversation with me. I appreciate this a great deal. You know, this is how Speaker's Corner should be done. It should be conversations. Let me reply to your argument. You have stated that Allah creates the matter, right? But then if we turn the matter into a bag, am I right? I just want to make sure I understand your argument. That it is the fact that he is inheriting the bag. Is that what you're trying to say? Is that your argument?
No, I'm saying there's
because I'm trying to understand how it's a response to my argument.
Understanding.
Yeah, that's fine. But how does that relate to my argument? Is what I'm asking.
Well, I'm just putting that out there.
Okay, so let me reply to it. Let me reply to it, because this still doesn't address the argument, which is at the heart of Islamic theology and the heart of Islamic spirituality, which is the 99 names of Allah, which are very central to Islamic theology and spirituality, that there are contradictions in those names. If Allah owns everything, he can't inherit everything. He can't be both Al-Maliki and Al-Warith at the same time. That is a rational contradiction.
Can you not be the owner of everything?
Yeah.
And then also the inheritor of anything that is created in the second sense,
right,
by humans.
So that was what my question was to you. Is that your argument? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't necessarily have an argument. Like,
okay.
I don't know.
Well, let's entertain the idea.
Okay.
Let's entertain the idea that in the first instance, Allah is Al-Maliki because he is the owner of all matter. But in the second instance, he is the inheritor of everything, because if I turn the matter that Allah has created and owns into a bag, he then can inherit the bag. But here's the reason why that argument doesn't work. Because if you are the owner of everything, everything really has to mean everything. And if you're saying that Allah owns the matter, but he doesn't own the bag, then that means that at some sense Allah is not Al-Maliki. He doesn't own everything. So wait one second. You've saved him from the sense of being Al-Warith, but to save him as Al-Warith, you've chucked Al-Maliki under the bus.
No, but he can. It's the sense that, as we said, ownership is or creation is in two senses, right?
Yeah.
So he still owns that bag in its matter, right? In terms of that energy that's being transformed.
Yeah.
Right? But then the human still has an ownership in the creation of it in that form.
Okay,
right?
An ownership. So let's just delve into that.
Yeah.
Right? What is shirk?
No, I'm sorry. I have one question for you.
No.
Because you ask a lot of questions. Let's ask
Okay, no, I'm sorry. We're having a conversation. You can jump in, but be polite. 1 second. Try to be polite. Try to be polite. Sir, try to be polite.
You are not polite.
Not ownership, then possession.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. So the human's in possession of it, but they don't own it.
Right. So let's look at this.
Amongst their
Okay.
brothers
So
and
I appreciate your question, but here's why that argument doesn't work. So if you're saying that I own this bag, You're saying Allah doesn't own the bag, but He does own the matter. He does own the matter. But one second. Oh, Shamsi, why don't you have a conversation? Why don't you have a conversation, Shamsi, rather than being rude? I know that being rude is normal to you, but you will complain when I come and interrupt you later, which I now will do. I'm going to come and interrupt you later and you'll be complaining. Right? So now let's have a conversation.
No, but before.
No, Shamsi, you just jumped into this. Shamsi, you just broke into a... So we're not having a decent conversation.
Is scared of me.
No one is scared of you,
Last week,
Shamsi.
he didn't want to let me speak.
Who ran away from who? Shamsi, can you have a conversation? Try to be polite. Shall we do it timed?
Okay.
Right, let's do it timed. Let's do it timed. Okay?
I'm going to speak. I have to speak now.
To make you comfortable, let's go over to the railings.
No, don't dictate to me what to do. I'm going to speak now.
Okay, no. Shall we do it timed? Shall we do it timed?
Can I speak?
No, you burst into this conversation,
No, I'm
Shamsi. You don't get to dictate.
So, okay, I
No,
will dictate.
you interrupted.
He's
So,
translation Allah's name al-Warith.
go on. What does al-Warith mean?
Al-Warith mean
Yeah.
is everlasting.
Oh, not inheritor then.
No, wait.
Not inheritor.
Meaning the one that creates something, then that thing will disappear and he will last after that. Who mentioned that? Who mentioned that? Az-Zajjaj, rahimahullah. Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, may Allah have mercy upon him, said, Al-Warithu. It's an Arabic term, is it? But he's trying to deceive my Muslim brothers and sisters by trying to translate it into English dictionary. Al-Warithu means someone that creates something, then make it disappear and it will be everlasting. That's the meaning of Al-Warith. So what he did, he mistranslated it. Do you understand that? I finished his argument. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Now see, Shamsi's running away again. Shamsi's running away again. Shamsi's running away again.
I finished the argument.
Shamsi's running away again. Always the same with Shamsi. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to remember this point because later I'm going to interrupt Shamsi, but he'll be complaining when I do. So let me just pull up. What we've got here is Shamsi is saying accept this understanding of the term al-warith.
No,
So what are you going to interrupt, Shamsi? Are we going to do that? Are we going to do that, Shamsi? Okay. So we'll just, once again, a decent conversation is ruined by Shamsi. So let me just pull up what it says.
Who was interrupting last week? Can you stop interrupting, please? He's asking to interrupt. Are you heckling? So, before you teach me about being polite, teach your Christian sister. Look, hypocrisy. Before you preach to the Muslim, preach to your own sister. Can you preach to your own sister?
So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, Shamsi ruins a decent conversation. Let me just tell you what Islamic websites say al-warith is. Bearing in mind that Shamsi has just given his own translation of al-warith. So, al-warith is the inheritor, the supreme heir, the one. Now listen, because this agrees with what he's saying. Listen. The one who remains after all creation has perished. So the translation given is inheritor, is supreme heir. But ladies and gentlemen, how can you inherit nothing? This is what the translation states. The one who remains after all creation has perished, the one to whom all things return, the one who has everlasting ownership. It comes from the root, warith, which means to inherit, to be an heir, to be a survivor, to be the owner or sustainer after someone. Now why do I need to shout? Because as you've heard, Shamsi can't shut up. But watch now, when I interrupt him, how he will complain.
Finished.
Go on.
Finished, yeah? Okay. Ask you what, is it tired? No, bro, he's not tired. Bob doesn't get tired.
Bob doesn't get tired.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. Bob does not get tired.
No, you have to give it to him. His voice is loud, but doesn't
Thank
mean
you.
it's right.
That is
Loud
true.
doesn't mean it's right, you see.
And neither does talking a lot
No,
either.
if you notice,
What do you notice?
watch. Ikhwa, please.
Oh, be quiet now. Be quiet now. Shamsi's talking. Be quiet now. Shamsi's talking.
Bob.
But he was okay to interrupt me.
Bob, when he was speaking, I told him to stop as well. When he was speaking, did I not tell you to stop?
Yes, because only he wanted the right to interrupt.
No, because I'm speaking to
You
you.
interrupted me
No,
constantly.
because you know how to pronounce it.
So
I
what?
have to correct you. It's Allah.
I don't believe in Arabization.
Anyway, my brother, when he was speaking to you, did he mention that to you? No. When he was speaking to you, did he mention all the other meaning? No. See what he was doing?
Was it a lie? No.
He was mistranslating it.
Did he mention the inheritor? No.
Now he's going to ask me, he thought I made it up. No. Who said that? Abu Ja'far Muhammad ibn Jarir Tabari. Who was he? One of the head and the teachers and the sheikh and the scholar of tafsirs who existed 300 years, 1,000
It comes from the Arabic root, which means to inherit, which means to survive, which means to receive. That is from the Arabic.
Who was one of the early scholars of tafsir.
I haven't denied any of this.
No, I made it up. So take it back.
No.
That's why he said,
What I'm pointing out is that you are selective about your translation.
I didn't say that. No, wait.
You're selective about your translation.
So now, let us read. Ibn Jarir rahimahullah said, وَنَحْنُ نرث الأرض ومن عليها بأن نميت جميعهم فلا يبقى حتى سوانا, meaning that we'll inherit the earth, meaning that we'll take back the earth. Doesn't mean heritage like someone, like a father or the son.
Inherit the earth?
No, doesn't
From
mean
who?
That. No, listen,
It doesn't.
Taking it back, that's what it means.
Oh, it's taking it back.
Yes, taking it back.
Is that taking it back inheritance?
Listen carefully.
Is that inheritance?
Let me finish. Let me finish. So Narithu, Abu Ja'far.
He doesn't let me finish.
Well, I'm gonna let me finish.
He doesn't let me finish.
It's amazing how he wants you to be silent. No, you interrupted me constantly. It's on camera, Shamsi. You burst into the conversation. You interrupted. No one's scared of you. No one is scared of you.
Let me deal with him because I exposed him many times. He would. You know what I like about him? There's something I got to give it to him. He likes to come back and get abused intellectually. Hashim did it to him, many brothers, and he still comes, you know. Can you believe this face, man? This face. Anyway,
so ladies and gentlemen, he thinks by mocking you he wins the argument. Deal with the argument.
I just said with Ibn Jarir Tabari, who was the earliest scholar, from the earliest one, as the Jaji, another scholar of Arabic language. He said that the hence mean that Allah will create something, then take it back, make it disappear, and it will be everlasting. That's the meaning of it. Now,
I accept that. Are you done?
Let me finish.
Are you done?
Let me finish. Does not mean the finishing that he tried to define it to the brother, meaning when I'm waiting for my father to give me back something to me that does not belong to me. Do you understand that? That is a lie.
What does that say?
Take care of yourself. I refuse to.
Al-Warith.
I've explained it.
The eternal inheritor. The eternal inheritor. The heir. The one whose existence remains. Notice by Shamsi. Now once again, Shamsi runs. He interrupts and then he runs. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is, Al-Warith, look, straight to the camera. What does it say there? What does it say on your cameras? This is what it says. Al-Warith, the internal inheritor. Shamsi, it's all right. Okay, Shamsi is simply being selective in what he wants to say about Al-Warith. He simply wants to point out the fact of part of what this term means, the one who has eternal existence. No one denies that. But how can he be the one who inherits? Why title him as the one who inherits if he already owns something? Gotcha. Islamic doctrine is self-contradictory. From the root, warith, which the following classical Arabic connotations. This is from an Islamic website.
Well, it must be true.
Classical Arabic connotations. To inherit, Shamsi.
What?
To be an heir, Shamsi. That's what the classical Arabic roots say, Shamsi. Why did you lie, Shamsi? Why did you lie?
Don't lie!
So later on, we're going to go and interrupt Shamsi. But when we do, watch Shamsi complain. He will complain when we do what he just did.